Hey everybody, I want to talk to you about a game that everybody seems to be losing their minds over right now. It is called Spyfall. Spyfall is the latest in those types of games where it is all about the communication, all about the negotiation. We've kind of moved into this world of this is our kind of our party game part of our designer board game world, and I've had a lot of fun with a lot of them. I guess like if we want to go back to the granddaddy of them all, we go back to kind of Are You a Werewolf? Or I think it was actually called Mafia first, and they changed it into the whole werewolf genre. And I'm sure there was one before that, and somebody's going to say, no, before it was a game called Are You the Bean Farmer? Or something. But whatever. Regardless, we seem to be having a lot of these types of games lately. You know, all these games like Resistance and Coup and things like that. Games with a very limited number of components, but it's all about the people talking and staring and looking at each other and trying to figure out who's lying and who's telling the truth. The idea behind Spyfall is you get a group of 3 to 8 people, and this is a game, the more people you have, the better it is, and each person is going to be handed a card, and the card is either going to tell them the location that they are in, where it is like a hospital or a train, and also like what they're doing there, their occupation. And we know, like a train, are you the conductor? Are you a passenger? Things like that. And or it's going to tell you that you're the spy. If you're the spy, you're the only person that's a spy, and you're going to have no idea where everybody else is at the table. And what happens is, and this is going to be a weird video for you because basically I'm not going to cut away to show you how to play the game because I don't really have to, because this doesn't have a lot of components. This game, you just get a bunch of these decks of cards. Each one of these baggies has a location deck in it, and it has one spy card. And so now, and each card has the same back. It has a back that says Spyfall, like right there, and it says spy right there. So that you know this is the spy card. So if you get that card, it says spy. So what the player does, whoever the dealer is they take this giant deck of cards, and they can't see the locations because the Spyfall is on this side, right? And they put them underneath the table, and they shuffle them around or whatever, and they take out one of these decks. And so there you have, like this says Spyfall on the thing, and here's the spy card over here. And they place the other ones off to the side. They don't use those. And depending on the number of players, let's say we're playing with 6 people. We're going to open up this, if I can open it up. We're going to open this up, and I'm not going to do this like technically how I would do it normally when I play, because of the fact that I want you to show you. So I'm actually probably going to actually see the location, even if I end up being the spy. But so we have a deck, and see they're all like this, right? All right. So now, depending on the number of players, I'm going to take the first one, the spy card, like so, and I'm going to put that down on the table. And then I'm going to take the rest of these cards here, and I'm going to deal out 5 more. So we have 6 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I take the other cards I'm not using, and I place those off to the side like so. And I'm going to take these particular cards, and I'm going to shuffle them up in my hand. So I don't know who is going to get the spy or who not. And then I deal 1 card to each person, just like you would in any type of game where each person gets a card. And then you take the cards in front of you, everybody looks at the exact same time, and now I see that I am in a military base. I am not the spy, and my little thing down there at the bottom says that I am a deserter. Now the person over to my left, they ended up actually being the spy, and they have no idea that they're a military base. And so now we have this person is a non-commissioned officer. And you don't have to play with that role if you don't want to take that part. That's totally up to the player if you want. This one, they are a sentry, and this person is a colonel, and this person over here is a sales clerk. So that's kind of an odd, but you know, they would be there. And notice the image, you can see there, the image, the art in these cards is pretty cool, and you can see there's a little spy there standing in the middle. So I dealt out the cards, and so to begin with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this card. I'm going to see we're in a military installation, and I'm going to say, I'm going to look at somebody. I'm going to say, Bob. You know, if Bob's sitting over there, and I'm going to say, Bob, are you here every day? And the whole idea is that I'm asking one simple question to somebody that's off on the table. And I'm trying to get them to answer a question in some way that is going to give away if they have no idea where they're at. Now, The spy at the table is going to be listening to the questions. They're going to be trying to figure out the location by the questions that are being asked. And there is a list in the rules that lists off all the different locations, so they can consult that. And it's really nice if you can put that in the middle, just so people can look at it. But then again, that is part of the whole thing. If one person's looking at that really intently, they're going to be questioned as being the spy. So it's kind of nice having maybe a crib sheet or a list, just so everybody can know what the different options are. But the whole thing is, you don't want to ask a really obvious question. You don't want to say, what rank are you in the military? Because the spy is going to say, I'm in a military camp, thanks a lot, and they're going to win the game. So what you want to do is you want to ask very simple questions like, do you wear that uniform every day? Oh, yes, I have to. I put it on in the morning. Okay, then, maybe that kind of gives it away, but, there's other things that are also, like, non-military. There's, like, a crusader camp and things like that. Other options, there's other locations that don't get. There's a submarine, you wear a uniform in a submarine, that sort of thing. And so you start asking those questions. How's the lighting in here? Does the smell ever get to you? What's your favorite part of your job? That type of thing. You're going to be asking these questions that are somewhat vague, but also somewhat to the point. And the whole idea is that if you know where you're at, you're going to give answers that are going to kind of let the other people know that you know that they know that you know that they know, that sort of thing, where they're at. But you don't have to answer the question. You could just go, and you can't do a follow-up question. And the whole thing is that when I ask Bob the question, Bob answers it however they want to, doesn't have to give anything away. And then Bob can ask somebody else a question, but he can't ask me. You can't ask the person that you just asked. So they have to find another person and say, how's the sunlight here? That sort of thing. And then they answer that, and then they ask somebody else. And the whole idea is that you're trying to zero in on one person that seemingly doesn't know where they're at. And then what somebody can do, and the thing is, this is a time game. Somebody does stop a clock, and there's an 8-minute timer, and they do suggest that if you want to have it longer or shorter, you can. But first time you play, 14, 15 minutes is probably a better idea. But after you get to know the game, it's pretty simple, and you're going to go with like an 8-minute timer. And so you start up the game, and you're going. And if somebody says, I want to make an accusation, you stop the clock, and that person says, I think that person's a spy. And then everybody can have the discussion. And if you can get everybody, except for the one person you're accusing, they don't get a vote. If everybody agrees unilaterally that they think that person's the spy, and there is 100% agreement, then you accuse the person. If they flip them over, if you're the spy, you win. If not, you lose. Simple, right? The spy wins is if they can stay hidden throughout the entire 8 minutes, and then at the very end there is a final round of accusations where each person can make a case and say, I think it's this person's a spy. You have a discussion. No, I'm not the spy. I'm not the spy. You can have that discussion about that, and then if you can get a unanimous decision, then you have the person turn it over. And you go around the table like that. And that's a good time for a spy to actually make an accusation. They can make an accusation as well. I think that person's a spy. Shunt the blame, shunt the focus, if you will, away from somebody else. The spy can also win if they can figure out where they're at. And at any time during the 8 minutes, they can, not after the timer's done, they can't do this, but they can say, I'm the spy and we're on the submarine. Nope, sorry, we're at the military base, you lose. And so then that's how the spy can either win or lose in that case as well. This is a game of reactions, a game of laughter, a game of like funny business, if you will. And it is one of those marvelous games that everybody's kind of at the even level, if you will. My daughter has played it with us, and whereas she has a little bit of difficulty as being clever or being sneaky with her answers, she has a lot of fun playing it, and I really enjoy playing it with her. And I've actually had fun playing it with her and her friends as well. Having her friends over and everybody, and kind of having them all at the same level. I've just kind of officiated the game, if you will, and they enjoy it a great deal. This one game here is one of the games that when I was playing it, my wife actually walked by and said, "What are you playing?" and then asked to play. And any game that my wife asks to play is a bona fide winner with me. The only problem with the game right now, it's really, really tough to get a hold of. I know it's pretty much sold out everywhere in the world, but I know they're going to have a bunch more really, really soon. So if you think that's a game that you want to try out, definitely do so. There is, I believe, a place online where you can go and log in and you can set up the game online and you could play. So you could play it on your tablet with everybody at the table or something like that. I know you can play online via Skype and what have you. And I've done that a few times, and it's a lot of fun as well. So check it out. This game was originally from Hobby World, which is a Russian developer, and now it is from Cryptozoic, our good buddies over at that location as well. So check out Spyfall. I'm sure if you like negotiation, conversation type games, you're absolutely going to love this game. It is a bona fide blast. So there you go, Spyfall.